Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to greet such a respectful audience here in Hannover, in Germany, for a discussion that will evolve around the international, boosting the international cooperation and its application to the new initiatives in Russia and for the new management in Moscow. We have a number of respected speakers who I'll be happy to introduce. Well, first of all, myself, my name is Mihail An, and I'm the first Deputy Director of the Department of Science, Industrial Policy and Entrepreneurship of the Moscow City Government. I used to work for a number of years for the federal government, for the Ministry of Economic Development, was responsible for bringing in investments into Russia to all different regions. Now we are concentrating on, I've come to Moscow in an attempt to create a special environment in the capital city of Russia. As you might know, Moscow, it's a city of 12 million people. It's one of the largest cities and megapolises in the world. It's a prominent science, educational and cultural center, not only of Russia but of the Eastern Europe, and actually quite prominent in the world as well. The problem that we have in Moscow is that after the collapse of the previous system that was built in the Soviet Union, we had to rebuild the links and the ties between science, industry, between small, medium businesses and large enterprises, and this is the challenge that we face now. There are a number of attempts being taken by the federal government, and there are federal government programs that have been launched. A number of Russian regions are now creating the special facilities, technoparks, industrial parks, technopolises, territories for innovative development, and so on. The allocations are trying to bring together all these stakeholders and to use the best international experience. There are a number of international stakeholders that already have come to Russia and that operate in Russia, both in infrastructure, both in and in investments, as well as in services, in creating networks, in developing joint research projects. We have a number of joint ventures between private Russian business and international business among our state corporations. The federal government has created a number of infrastructural and some of the major projects to help boost the innovations, the innovative systems. One of them, for example, is the Roснано investment fund. It's been created, Mr. Chubais, who is a prominent Russian politician and businessman in different stages of life, and a well-respected person internationally. He's leading this Roснano fund, and Mr. Grudev, who is here today, he is director responsible for this exhibition. He has kindly agreed to give a brief overview of the Roснano programs, and we have a joint programs together with the Roснano fund in creating such sites in Moscow. In Moscow, we have, over the past year, we have created a policy. There is a law that's coming up next week. Actually, I'm presenting before the parliament next week to defend this law, and should become enforced this May, that creates special conditions to the innovative infrastructure, to technoparks, technopolises and industrial sites, as well as incubators and so on. We are focusing on giving administrative support, on giving special financing, such as giving cheap, assisting giving cheap credit. We're subsidizing part of the interest rate for companies who would come and build infrastructure, innovative infrastructure, and for the companies who would come and invest in specific projects, including production, research, and development. As well as we are trying, but the more important thing is not only the administrative support, which is required to create a favorable investment climate, and creating the good quality government services, including customs, taxation, migration services, local government regulation that would expedite the construction procedures, for example. That's all important, and it's essential to success of business, as well as the physical infrastructure, which is quite present in Moscow. Moscow is a large industrial city. It has thousands of hectares, about 15,000 hectares of land used for industrial production, which is now a bit outdated, and we are now rethinking about using some of these territories for more typical to the city projects, such as parks, offices, some housing, transportation system, etc. But also some of these territories might be used for creating innovative locations, such as the success stories of other scopes, the Antipolis, Technopolis in Finland, a number of other sites in the world, the projects of Jerome Corporation is doing in Singapore, a number of success stories in China, in Japan, etc., etc. So one of the stories that we would like to hear today, the two stories we'd like to have shared with us today, is the story by Mr. Safar, the Vice President of the Kulim Technology Park Corporation in Malaysia, who has launched such techno park, and I'll give a word to him in a second. And from Dr. Al Matrushi, who is the Executive Vice President for Business Development at the Dubai Silicon Oasis Authority. We'd like to hear today their overview of their success, of what it took them to create their success stories, and maybe some challenges that they face in creating the success story for their country and in building the international cooperation. As well, there will be a number of other speakers, such as let me start, Mr. Kashirin, who is also a head manager, top manager at the Russian Rostechnology, the Russian corporation that has accumulated a number of industrial and scientific assets in Russia. It's one of the prominent development institutions in Russia, and we are putting a big stake on this corporation in creating such strong links and in creating the strong growth leaders in Russia. So Mr. Kashirin is here with us today as well. Then Mr. Zelle on my left, he's the department head of International Projects Department at the Hannover Economic Development Agency, who will speak on building the ties, networks in fostering this type of cooperation between different stakeholders in the innovation, in the innovative system. Also, the speakers are Mr. Victor Verma, the General Manager of YIT Elmek Ltd. It's a Finnish, YIT is a well-known Finnish construction firm, and it has a number of divisions that work on different innovative, in different innovative areas, and we'd like Mr. Verma to share his experiences in the waste management projects that he is working on while creating such infrastructure. So some of the innovative technologies being used in creating the physical actual infrastructure. And he's working on one of the projects in Skolkovo, one of the Russian, Skolkovo is the Russian equivalent of Silicon Valley. You know, some of you who heard of this project are laughing because there is a big debate going on of what Skolkovo should actually be, but in any case, it's a Russian attempt to create a special condition, special environment on the federal level. Now, Mr. Weizmann, who is General Manager of ProTime GmbH Germany, will also speak on joint projects. He has a good experience on the project building ties between Russia and Germany. Mr. Gorelkin, who is Deputy Head of Advanced Technology Center and the General Manager of Medical Technology, working also in Skolkovo. Mr. Metzler, correct me if I'm wrong in my pronunciation a little bit, who is heading the German-Russian Center for Technology Transfer in Germany, and I believe he's making a presentation at the Rathaus today at 5 o'clock, so everybody is welcome to be there as well. And Mr. Popov, who is the Executive Board Chairman of the International Union of Professional Equipment Engineering, Information and Telecommunications Technologies Experts in Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for a bit long of my introduction. The format will be as such. There will be a few presentations made by Roснано, by Mr. Safar and Dr. Matrushi, And then we'll start our discussion with brief introductions from each of the speakers. If I may now give the word to Mr. Grulyev from Roснано, if you might be able to come up here and tell us about what Roснano is, what you're doing, and the type of cooperation that's been built between Moscow, the Russian government, and the international participants with the help of Roснano. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vasily Grulyev, and I'm in charge of business development activities with Roснано. Roснano is an investment fund created by the Russian federal government, and as Michael already told you, I will have to leave. I have to apologize in advance. So try and be quick. Our investment policy may be explained in three simple words. This is nano, as a synonymous of new war, or by other words, it's industry which more or less present in each vertical market existed in the world, and at the same time somehow absorbing the newest trends in technology development and in industry. Second word is production. We investing, we provide our funds only those companies, those applicants who are ready to go to the production stage. And last but not least, Russia. So every our project, every suggested business plan should be at least partly implemented at the Russian territory. So as you may image, due to this, we dealing not with Moscow only, with different regions, almost all the Russia. And since we started, it happened in 2008, we had discussion with Moscow government. They said we are representing the capital of Russia. You are born by the Russian federal government, so why don't you bring us some projects, some opportunities? And we was pretty skeptical with this proposal, because most of our applicants was oriented to cheapest facilities in the country, quite far of the capital. You maybe know that the Moscow for the last decade probably 3 or 5 times was the leader of international rating, the most expensive city in the globe. So one day we got a message from government of Moscow that they're developing inside Moscow, very close to the center of Moscow, some facilities, some specific zones where all the terms and conditions from the tax and the real estate and up to costs for such things like clean rooms will be extremely cheap, and maybe even cheaper than similar facilities somewhere in Novosibirsk or Vladivostok. But we've been surprised, especially when we received the first presentation. If you check out this map, that just reach it's an ex-automotive facility almost in the center of Moscow, has been selected for such a small and medium business projects, where government of Moscow hope to facilitate most innovative, most high-tech, as you want to say this, companies coming to Moscow to facilitate their production. Anyway, it's fitting our policy, and we, again, with very skeptical approach, started almost 6 months ago to talk to our portfolio companies. And we've been surprised that quite a lot of them very actively and very positively reacted to this proposal from our side. So as of today, almost 200,000 square meters of the facilities booked or pre-booked by the Roснано portfolio companies. It's not to that, and we expect that the total amount of the projects we as a Roснano, we will invest in the coming future will be circa $200 million US. So not too bad for such a small territory. Different companies from all over the world, particularly from France, Germany, by the way, hopefully will be landed there quite soon. And I must say, outlooking the job and the discussion we made together with Moscow government, we can confirm that we found an interesting trend. Traditionally, we suggest the high-tech companies, especially in the small and medium sector, as some funny guys in jeans who always looking to be far from big city, from big government, from big bosses, and so on and so on. And what we found not too big, but quite visible trend that quite many of high-tech companies, including startups, including small and medium companies, they want to be closer to big city. They want to be closer to big city problems, to big city needs, because there is a business for them, and they're also excellent sources for them. Moscow, as you probably know, concentrated 12 million. I have to apologize as official statistic. By unofficial statistic, it's much more people who, as Mr. An said, for decades were involved into large industrial process. Moscow in the 80s was one of the largest industrial megapolis. So such as things like education, as a communication, as a mentality, if not best in the Russia, in the world, sorry, but definitely best in the Russia. It's very useful for those companies, especially foreign companies, who coming to Russia looking for best sources in the country. So definitely Moscow, and especially central or related with central part, you will see not only Moscow but also Zil and Slava, such a facilities concentrated very far from the Moscow administrative border, may bring to innovative companies, to foreign companies, what they're looking for in Russia. And we are very welcome this initiative. We are not stopping anymore, and we are welcoming those of you who will decide to come do business in Russia, to come to see and to land in this excellent facilities, providing not only physical conditions but interesting legal and financial conditions. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you for the excellent overview and for the help introducing Moscow and the projects in Moscow. In fact, yeah, there are, as you can see on the picture, a number of facilities and plants that used to be building cars. One actually of these sites, you might guess which one, I can tell by the end of the presentation, used to be building. Well, Mr. Al Matrushe actually knows, but I hope he doesn't sell me on this one. They used to be building spaceships there at one of the sites. So Moscow actually is quite diverse in types of industries that are present in the city, ranging anywhere from aerospace to aviation to machinery to automotive and car making to radio electronics, microelectronics, textile, food industry, and you can name on and on. Biotechnology, medicine. It's all pretty much there. The thing is that now you have to reveal the ties and links between all these institutions that used to be quite powerful within themselves. But the challenge for us now is to help to create these links and to help grow large Russian players and large international players, which in my personal opinion they should be rather not state-run but privately run businesses, of course supported by the government programs and by the conditions that have to be created in Russia. Yet they should be the drivers of Russian science, of Russian production, and of innovative development growth in the country. Just similar to the stories that many years ago happened in, for example, in Asia, in Japan, in Korea, happening in China, and elsewhere in the world. If you don't mind, I'd like to give a word to one of the technoparks that is successfully launched in one of such countries, in Malaysia, to Mr. Annuar Mухad Saffar. Again, I've introduced him. He's the Vice President of responsible for industrial development and research at the Kulim Technology Park Corporation in Malaysia. If you can please give us a presentation up to 8 minutes, the maximum, on your success story.
Okay, good morning everybody. First and foremost, let me thank Mr. Mihail An for giving me the opportunity to speak at this session on a roundtable discussion about development of Moscow City. And also, it's an honor for me to be given the opportunity to share our own experience in Malaysia with an up-and-coming world-class city, if it's not already one. And of course, the third thing, I'm happy to meet Dr. Juma Al Matrushi again, because last year he came and visited my farm. So I'm happy to see him in person presenting at this session. Okay, again, my name is Annuar Mухad Saffar. I'm the Vice President for Industrial Development and Research at Kulim Technology Park in Malaysia. I wear many hats when I come to these international events. One is as Honorary President of the Asian Association of Business Incubation. I was a past president. This association is also based in China, in Shanghai, China. And I'm also a member of the so-called Science Park and Innovation Center Experts Group, which has a secretariat in Berlin. So that's why. So I have 18 years experience, 20 years experience almost already in the technology park management. Now, there are three parts to my presentation. Number one is I'll have to talk about who I am or who we are. Then we'll talk about my success story, and then what were our distinctive feature for success, which is what the organizer asked me to present. So there will be three parts to my presentation. Let me start with the first one, telling about where we are. Actually, this is a map of Southeast Asia. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that, the topography of that region. I'm from that area which is in that rectangle square. Yeah? And that area actually may sound or may look remote, but actually this is where quite a number of Silicon Valley companies from United States or high-tech companies operate in the past for the last almost 30-40 years. What if I stand up? Sorry, I have to make this presentation standing up because I have to make point certain things. Well, this is, as I mentioned, where we used to have a base already of very advanced electronic companies, and then because of this so-called Silicon Island is almost full of no more land, so the federal government of Malaysia decided to open up a new high-tech park in the country. We have 500 parks, industrial parks in Malaysia, but the one with this model is only one. Yeah, a lot of resources were put into this park, Development model, this is sharing again with Moscow. I'm not so sure how your area look like, but with our park, it was a jungle. It was a tropical jungle with some plantation around it.
In Moscow, it's industrial jungle.
A concrete jungle. But the thing is, even then, there was a subversive element going around in this region. So the government decided to put a technology park there to stop the movement of these subversive activities. So it's the area is Well, started with 3,600 acres originally, but now it has expanded to almost 4,400 acres. Yeah? It's not a park actually, it's an integrated city concept, a techno-polis concept. We've been around for the last 16 years. It has 6 different zones. We have a logo for the park itself, which is a flower with 6 petals. Each petals represent a different zone. We have the industrial zone, which is the largest area. We have the urban zone, R&D zone, institutional zone, amenity zone, and housing zone. Yeah? So for the blue zone, we already come to the 4th phase already. I'll show some pictures later on. And this park was designed by Japanese, so the golf club or the golf course has to be in the middle. And 27 holes is not enough. It has to 18 holes is not enough. It has to be 27 holes. All playable already. So sorry. So what happened is we have also housing zone and so on. Again, as I mentioned, it's an integrated city concept. Yeah? Now, again, as I mentioned, we have the name of the development is Kulim Park. The management company is Kulim Technology Park Corporation. We have different logos for the park itself and for the development itself. And as I mentioned, we started in 96, 3,600 acres, and now it has come to about 1,780 hectares or 4,400 acres. And again, I said the concept of development, that region was already a remote area. It's a hinterland. So we have to do something about that part of our country. And because of that, we started with this so-called 6-zone development concept: industrial, housing, recreation, education, institution, as well as urban zone. Now, so what have we accomplished for the last 16 years? First, again, the development concept is a remote area, hinterland. The concept was to bring the big high-tech companies first. So that's what we did, and we are successful. We already successful. We have succeeded in bringing almost 10 billion of investment from high-tech companies. Some of the pictures that I show is actually this one, because it's already animation from, because the plant is under construction. It's a Panasonic solar plant, 300 megawatt. They started the piling on the 2nd of March, last month. And then the second picture is actually a picture of Infineon second plant being under construction. Infineon is a German company based in Munich. They have been operating since 2004 for first plant, so they expanded, added another $1 billion plant. And of course, we have many support associations as well as incubating companies. So in terms of, as I mentioned, it was a jungle. Now it's 26,000 people who work there, study there, play there in the park. And of course, housing, we have built more than 5,000 units with about 20,000 people in that area. So even the bigger district area, which again used to be a small district, so the population has more than doubled to 300,000. Now these are some of the success stories, the high-tech companies that we bring. First is one of them, the big five, Fuji Electric. Kulim has been successful with bringing the wafer fab industry. Wafer fab, normally investment is about $1 billion US. We have Fuji Electric, this is Silterra, another wafer fab, Infineon. And Intel has 5 plants in the park. First Solar is the largest thin film maker of solar panel. They have 10 plants around the world. 6 plants is in Kulim. We have 6 plants of, it's a US-based company. And of course, I mentioned just now, Panasonic is the one constructing a 300 megawatt plant. So these are some of the international companies that we have managed to bring in. But then again, when you mention you are a technology park, it's not just about bringing big companies. You have to grow local companies. So we have different sets of companies. We have the big multinational company, the one that I mentioned. So we have vendors to the big company, foreign ones. Then we have the small and medium industry company, local ones to serve the big MNCs and local large companies, as well as incubating companies, incubation. Yeah? So part of I keep saying, if you cannot claim you are a technology park if you don't do this grooming of or nurturing of startup companies. So we do that. Yeah? So these are some of the companies that I mentioned. Some of these are vendors to the big companies from Silicon Valley. these two companies, the two out there is our incubator company, and they are here in Hall 5. So that's my job also to come and promote the product overseas. And also we have some of these other local companies which are in our incubator. And these are, I mentioned now, big investment. That these are some of our success story. Again, one is about Infineon. This is the old plant. And constructing another, adding another 1 billion. So Infineon will become the largest single investor in Kulim Park. Wafer fab is, I tell you, is solar companies are getting into a bit of trouble with the pricing problem. Even for solar that we had here in Germany. But with Infineon, it's a good story. So that is the story what our successes, and I just want to take the remaining 3 minutes to tell about what our success. So as I mentioned, in Malaysia, there are 500 industrial parks. Kulim, the one industrial park is one component of its 6th zone. So the government really put an investment to bring high-tech companies, such as one of them bringing a dedicated highway from the seaport right to the park. That was quite an expensive event. And then the other part is there's a special independent power producer only for the park, because the wafer fab companies, they cannot afford to have even small dips. So we need, that alone is quite a big investment, a 220 megawatt power plant. And also power plant, wafer fab companies require a lot of water. In the case of the trying to bring Infineon in the past, they come and they say, you have 60 acre land now, today. Say yes, I want to see it now. Then they ask the same question. Do you have water now? 15,000 cubic meters today. I don't want to hear about 6 months. Say, yeah, come, show it to me. So these are the things that you have to do to attract these big high-tech companies. Then this other thing is, the second part is we have Kulim High-Tech Park is a special local authority for just this small 4,400 acres. We have our own local authority. A law, new law enacted, so that we have our own approval system. We have our own local council. In Malaysia, out of 148, there were only 2 such.
The federal law or a local law?
It's a state law, but it also is a federal level, because most of the local authorities are all under the Federal Ministry of Housing and Local Development. But this one within our state, we have a state government corporation, and that was created for that. So any approval can be done within 2 weeks. But all the representation are by directors of the state, so it's a very high level representation in that of the council, especially the technical. And then, and we are very focused. You want to attract, like in our case, we never had any semiconductor wafer fab companies, so we were focused to go after them. That's why we had to put a lot of water, high quality electrical power and so on. So because of that, we were able to get that. So we don't take anything like automotive assembly, injection molding. We don't want that. That can go to the other industrial park. They're not included. And that's the hard part. Renewable energy, we've been successful with solar photovoltaic. We have 2 solar plants. Kulim itself has a capacity to produce 2 gigawatt by end of the year of solar panels and so on. So if you're talking about the world, the solar capacity around 20 to 25 gigawatt, Kulim is like 5% of that already for Kulim. So that's the hardware part. But we also do the software part, such as the cluster development, to attract the foreign vendor first. Then we groom the local vendor to help the multinational companies or to service the multinational companies, grooming of local vendor. And then we have also our business incubation, nurture new startups. And I said today I bring 4 companies here for my incubator company. my lifestyle. And again, in September, I have bringing them for the automechanical exhibition as well as another exhibition in Hamburg. And other things that I said is our criteria for success is the park can be expanded anytime. Didn't want to get the plantation next door. Some of the problem with certain parks or areas, you are limited by the land. But in our case, that was by design, not by default. We basically put a remote hinterland because we can always acquire the land next door. And of course, fantastic support from the Federal Ministry of Finance, the soft loan for land acquisitions, right? And we also get grants. That means we don't have to pay back for infrastructure, roads, pipelines, and so on. And we are always the type of business we are for profit. It's not like for profit. Of course, I can have time only to limit to talk about 9 of these features. There are plenty that I cannot cover, such as the cyber city concept, the bill of guarantees, the local the license manufacturing warehouse, also the finance and non-finance incentives. I think maybe if we have the next opportunity, maybe I can make a presentation on that. Obviously, half a day to talk about this topic. So just in case you still want to know about, you can do some reading. I actually presented a paper in North Carolina, USA, for the World International of Science Park Conference. It was in pursuit of world best practice science and technology parks. Quantitative assessment of Kulim Technology Malaysia is 5,000 words long, so you can read it, you can Google it and get it. I think that will be sufficient for you for the time being if you want to know what we have done in Kulim Technology Park. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Today and explaining the success story, because you have a success of 16 years. But if you go back 16 years, would you, well, first, the first part of the question is, how would you be able to break down the 16 years in terms of initial development and the growth phase and the maturity, if there is such? And would you be able, if you had an opportunity to go back 16 years, change something to expedite the process?
If I were to look back, what are the things that, success, critical success? One is actually to build first and then get the investment to come. That's the criteria. The second is also the marketing of the park. It's actually done also by, we have a Malaysian Investment Development Authority. There are so many offices around the world. 2 are in Germany, one in Frankfurt and one in Munich. We have offices in London, Paris, and so on, and they do a marvelous job of marketing to the Malaysian park. So because this is the only part of such model. So it's not just me alone having to do marketing, but this Malaysian Investment Development Authority are also promoting to the park. It makes my job a lot easier. And the park is always expanding. I wouldn't say that there are phases, these phases that are coming back. It used to be wafer fabrication, and then suddenly new technologies come, solar. And then of course the medical devices are coming. But then again, we have always been trying to attract many of these semiconductor industry. That has been our focus since day one.
So thank you very much, and hopefully in discussion we'll be able to get back and ask you a few questions again. And now I turn the word to Dr. Al Matrushi, the Executive VP for the Dubai Silicon Oasis Authority.
Thank you, Anna. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming this morning and to listen to our stories. I have visited Kulim Park, and I really congratulate them in person there, and we have promised to go again. The development within the Kulim Park is amazing, actually. Not only what they have did, but what they have really prepared earlier for the Kulim Park to be where it is. One of the things that I want to talk to you today about is Dubai Silicon Oasis. Dubai Silicon Oasis actually is part of our all nations. They will have a wish and will. one of the things is that's really for us to turn to, as all of you know, if you think of Dubai, you think only of tourism. And you're coming, you're laying on the beach there and you're having a good time. That's true. We have a nice sun and we have a lovely beaches. However, we were able to go for other miles, and we were able to go for other things, such as Dubai Silicon Oasis. This is actually a vision of the leaders that they wanted to transform the commerce-based and service-based economy into what we call it knowledge-based economy. This is a very effective. It is a political decision has been made to move into this. In 2004, the government of Dubai announced an area of 7.2 million square meter. This area, which covered an area which we have been divided to many clusters as you see it there. What's the mandate actually for the Dubai Silicon Oasis? The mandate is actually to create what we call it the economy, which is really based on knowledge. One of the things is that to facilitate and to promote innovation and technology. This is a task, it is a very big task actually when you look at transferring of technology. I think Malaysia and other countries, they have witnessed it. It's not a very easy thing to transfer technology. Technology, it's really restricted to a certain part of the world. However, you know, it will not, it's not anymore. Why? Because we have actually developed within among ourselves the human resource, the capital, and those are very important. It's very important to invest in your own people. This is how the things. And also you look at UAE and the United Arab Emirates. You look at it from where? From a geographical position. Our geographical position is very important. It is actually an 8-hour flight from around 5.8 billion people. Actually, within an 8 hour. This is a market where you are looking at more than 2/3 of the world population is within an 8-hour flight from that. This is give you a great location. Then what we really can add to our friends in Moscow or others, this is one of the things that what we look at. We look at the concept of how we go, what kind of strategy we have to use. We are a country, depends on service, depends on commerce. However, we wanted to move into technology. What we did in this sense, we have introduced a certain policy, which is, we call it 6x6. The 6x6 pillar, which is, we call it an ecosystem. Our ecosystem really, this is #1 issue. As my friend Sir Anwar indicated, the support and the support and the support. The support by the government is very essential. It is the support for the client and the support for the park itself. We have the government support from A to Z. Electricity, water, visas, whatsoever. Our pillar actually starts from the government support, then we have the infrastructure. We put the infrastructure. Now we do have within the park 68 kilometers of roads, of paved road, electricity, sewage system, everything is set. It is a plug and play. The companies, as indicated by my friend Anwar, that means they are not going to wait for you. They really want something to be happening now. If you guys will promise, you don't want an investor or an FDI or somebody to come and stay in a hotel for 6 or 7 months. This is he or she will need, the investor will need to be there. Have your infrastructure ready. This is one of the government support infrastructure ready. SME. We have the SME, small and medium. How you can, from the international companies. We do have international companies, large companies. However, our SME is very important. The Russian SME have to take a role in this, has to support to be part of the success. This is a very, very important to be of the success. Then we move into a large and international companies. Large enterprises, we don't have them in Dubai. We have them as our local thing. However, we wanted to bring an international companies who do something with technology. We brought Wacker from Germany, and they do certain activity. And this is we got Wacker. We also got Porsche. Porsche, they have a place to us, which is to Siemens. They are there with us. Why? Because the infrastructure was there, the government support was there. This is very important. Then we move into, we have to create what we call a universities. You know, the university is there. We do have the universities and incubator. There are certain business, they want a support. They want funds, they want other things. Then you have to have these things ready by there. Our expert is here of the incubator. One of the issues that what we are thinking about the university, we have talked to the universities in the United States, and we were able to bring RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology, to be based in Dubai Silicon Oasis. The company will not have any problem. If they want an engineer, the engineers are there. What type of curriculum you wanted to introduce your engineer or your people to, it is there within our university. It goes through the curriculum of the university. This is something very important. It is knowledge-based economy, then the knowledge where in the universities, in the colleges, in the education. This is one of the aspects of our success to provide these things. Also to create some kind of a fund. We have created a VC fund. That VC fund, it is, first of all, DSO have put 25% of the fund. The fund is $50 million to start with. Actually, this fund is to support the companies who is within the Silicon Oasis or who wanted to go out. Or there are certain companies in Russia, in Germany, in Singapore, they wanted to come to the United Arab Emirates and to do the products. Then we have this funds to support them. This is very important. Those are the pillars that we are depending on. From this, the SMEs, the ventures, the infrastructure, the government support, and this is very important. Then here we have to look, what are the things? From the large companies as a head indicator, Parker and the others, we have other things which we are looking at. Those 6 pillars have to contribute to other things, such as data center, mobile, semiconductors, software companies. Those are all very important. This is one of the issues that we have really concentrated on. This is our 6, we call it 6 by 6. This is a part of our success. Okay, here you say, what are the incentives you are giving? You know, one of the things is, what are the incentives? You know, a big company, when they come, they always say, what do you have for me? Well, we said, all of this, what you have for you. He said, okay, fine. But he said, I need such a thing. We said, guys, you have 100% ownership. In the United Arab Emirates, our law says 51-49, which is the government. It has to be a local partner who have 51 and you come 49. However, we say to those companies, no, you don't need this law. We have our own law for you, which is you can own 100% of your own enterprises. They were very happy. Then they said, okay, we bring money and we make money. Can we take the money back? We said, yes, you can take the money back. This is a very important thing. We give them a 50-year guarantee. These rules will not change. This is very important for us. We have to be there for them. If they ask something, this has to be there. It has to be there. Then they have asked us, do we have a talent? Do we have people? Yes, we do. If we don't have it, we can have it around the area. The Arab country, India, others, Pakistan, all of this around it. We have a very flexible visa system. A 3-year visa can be given without any hassle, without any prerequisite, without anything. You are there to do some business. You are welcome. You are welcome to bring your talent with you. Well, we will bring the talent for you, and this is one of the things. Now, yes, 2008 came, 2009 came. However, they were a drop. They were everybody going to the financial statement. Look at their financial statement. Can we do it? We cannot do it. Can we go? We cannot go. It was a challenge for us. Do we have to change? Yes, you do have to visit your strategy every 2 years, every 1 year, every 5 years. You have to revisit accordingly to the situation. You cannot be stiff and strict, because will not take you anywhere. This is how we really looked at it. Now we have success. In 2011, we have grown 134%. That means our company now, which are based in Dubai Silicon Oasis, they are 700 company. We were starting hosting the company from 2007. From 2007 till now, we have 700 company. 57% of those companies are technology related. The others are support. The technology company, the big houses or the big boys, they will not come if they don't have a support. The support has to be there. Then we have created those companies which will give them the support. They were very happy with this. They are staying with us, and this is part of the thing. We said one of the things, you cannot put them way away from the city without any, you have to create some kind of a living. A living is very important. Then we have created this. The living area was there, the colleges was there, the business center was there, the community center was there, the shopping mall, 7 minutes, even within DSO, within our own platform, we are making a shopping mall, and there is a community center where can service. There are 35,000 people who are living at this moment working and living within the Silicon Oasis area. However, also we've been supported by the government. We are next to 22 colleges. With 22 colleges, that we are next to 22 colleges where they can support. This is the things we are willing now to host the companies, to take them. However, we made the ingredient run to put the fundamental. I don't want to take much of your time. Thank you very much for listening. Those are the people who've been hosted in Dubai Silicon Oasis, as you see, which I have talked about. Baka, AMD also is there, Fujitsu Siemens, Synopsys, Tala, SAMC, and all. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you.
It's quite interesting that you explained a number of measures that you've taken to create a success story of yours. What I've heard from both from Mr. Safar and from you, I would maybe attempt, correct me if I'm wrong, but to summarize in two simple things. There is a hard way to get there, but the things are quite clear and simple. The first thing is you have to have a clear concept of your project, strategy for your project. And then you have you just explained a number of different measures that you've done to create a success story of your project, but they all align along that you have to be client-oriented and you have to deliver what your client wants. And they need the skills, you bring the skills. They need the research, you bring the universities. They need the services, you create business parks, you create the environment for small and medium businesses. So that's one thing. And another one I wanted to mention is, you know, when we initiated the discussions on creating such projects in Moscow, we've had over the past half year quite heavy discussions. In Russian there is a proverb that says, what comes first, the egg or the chicken? And when we were telling the story about that we have to create such conditions, we have to create the environment, we have to create the 100% all the conditions for the investors to come. The questions we were facing, okay, you need money, you need this, you need that, why do we need it? Bring us investors first, and then we'll discuss whether we should pay money to create this infrastructure. So both of you, I definitely cannot hear that I didn't ask to say this, but both of you mentioned that first you have to create the conditions and the infrastructure to invest in, and only then you do the investment attraction and promotion. And I think this is the story that we have to learn for Russia, that first you create the conditions, then you do the investment promotion and attract investments. In Russia we go a bit differently because we are creating the conditions, but also we are very lucky that some of the investors have agreed to come along the line with us while we are building the infrastructure, while we are changing the laws. We are lucky to have a number of investors already who are joining us and believe us that we'll finish our part of the job. But of course it's much more difficult, and it's only with the first players that come. We are now tight on time, but then we have a number of speakers still to go. So I'll ask everybody to stick to 3 to 5 minutes, brief overview of your story, and then please share with us, from your point of view, the experience that you have in building networks, in attracting investors, in creating the favorable conditions. What do you think the key to success are in the world, and specifically to Russia, for those of you who have such experience? And I'd like now to give a word to Mr. Kashev, who is the top manager, the director of the Department of Innovation and Strategic Development of one of the key Russian growth corporations, the state corporation Rostechnology.
Thank you, Mikhail. I will speak in Russian because our guests can think that in Moscow people do not speak Russian. Итак, несколько слов о нашей корпорации.
Переверните, пожалуйста. Вот так.
Значит, наша корпорация представляет из себя 600 предприятий, которые объединены в 24 холдинговых компании. Из них 220 представляют научно-исследовательские институты и расположены в 54 субъектах Российской Федерации, 110 предприятий расположены в Москве. Значит, я хочу сказать, что вот в прошлом году корпорация была принята стратегия развития и программа инновационного развития, которая определяет как раз наше движение вперед на ближайшие годы. Значит, главная стратегическая цель – это создать на базе холдингов корпорации мирового уровня. И в этом плане нам помогает вот, программа инновационного развития. Значит, программа инновационного развития, если так сказать, по блокам рассматривать, она состоит из двух основных блоков. Это органические инновации, то есть те инновации, которые направлены на модернизацию существующей продукции. Кстати, я, наверное, должен сказать, что у нас преимущественно так сказать, военная продукция и порядка 70% военной продукции, поэтому покупайте русское оружие, вот, значит, которое производит наша корпорация. Значит, и это прежде всего неокр, который мы выполняем, чтобы наше оружие стало лучше, соответственно, технологическое перевооружение, другие мероприятия, касающиеся органических инноваций. И вот сейчас, начиная с этого года, мы начинаем развивать неорганические инновации, так называемый корпоративный венчур, который будет заниматься тем, чтобы из тех разработок, которые могут быть коммерциализированы на гражданском рынке и которые могут из военных разработок превратиться в продукты гражданского назначения, мы хотим вот новое направление открыть, чтобы наша корпорация стала более открытой для гражданского рынка. Для этого предусмотрено создание венчурного фонда, даже больше того, инновационного фонда и бизнес-инкубатора и другой инфраструктуры для нашей корпорации. Значит, я хочу сказать, что по итогам 2011 года на программу инновационного развития было направлено 1 600 000 000 евро. И, соответственно, по неокрам около миллиарда. Значит, ну вот здесь представлено, так сказать, как распределялось эти средства. Значит, просто хочу обратить внимание, что вот за тот год, посмотрите на цифру, вот особенно вторая, что на неокр в 2011 году было около $1 миллиарда направлено, что почти в 4 раза больше, чем в предыдущий год. Можете себе представить, что это, так сказать, серьезный сдвиг в нашей корпорации. Теперь несколько слов о нашем инновационном фонде. Фонд наш несколько необычный. Я, кстати, когда мы делали бизнес-план этого фонда, инвестиционный меморандум, то мы осознавали ту ситуацию, которая имеется в России, и я советовался с венчурными капиталистами из Силиконовой долины, из Калифорнии, и наш фонд будет работать сразу на 3 стадиях. На пресс-сид, на сид и на, так сказать, стартапах. Ну, вот здесь есть распределение. Значит, 102 миллиона будет евро фонд на 10 лет, и очень активно будет сотрудничать с другими инвестиционными грантовыми механизмами. Значит, мы считаем, что главными потоками проектов будут из наших организаций, и мы уже в этом плане проводим работу, о которой я должен вам сказать чуть позже. И мы думаем, что вот это откроет нашу корпорацию для, так сказать, гражданского рынка. Ну, это здесь показано о управлении фондом. Да. Мы предполагаем, что у нас на 100 миллионов, 800 миллионов будет заработано к концу 2010 года. Значит, что еще хотели сказать, что вот так как мы в Москве, у нас 100 предприятий в Москве, то мы очень активно сотрудничаем с Москвой. И вот сейчас уже принято решение, что в 2012 году у нас будет первый открытый конкурс гражданских инновационных проектов предприятий оборонно-промышленного комплекса. То есть мы хотим, так сказать, не только нашу корпорацию приоткрыть, но и другие, так сказать, оборонные предприятия российские, чтобы они смогли диверсифицировать свой бизнес, потому что когда преимущественно военное, то, так сказать, очень уязвимы становятся предприятия. Значит, у нас по 4 будет номинациям. Это пресс-проекты, проекты посевные, стартапы и лучшая команда менеджеров. Ну, не буду рассказывать, вы скоро увидите. Но уже нас поддержали достаточно большое количество организаций, вот они здесь представлены, этот конкурс. Объявление будет, скорее всего, в конце июня на выставке технологии машиностроения. Значит, я несколько слов хочу сказать, что вот была такая инициатива, я не знаю, в каком сейчас состоянии, Михаил, но говорят, что Собянин сказал, что 5% продукции муниципальными предприятиями будет закупаться инновационной продукцией. И проблема есть в том, как ее идентифицировать. Вот, мы предлагаем, так сказать, есть механизм, который мы уже говорили с российскими железными дорогами и уже контактировали с вами. Вот здесь, так сказать, есть некий проект, предложение, которое мы могли реализовать совместно, потому что нас это тоже интересует. Мы тоже хотим, чтобы наши предприятия покупали инновационную продукцию. Это дорога с двухсторонним движением. Первое, это когда есть продукция уже на рынке, которая должна быть идентифицирована и представлена как инновационная. И второе, это когда предприятия заказывают ГИОКР для того, чтобы мы создали какую-то продукцию. Таким образом, вот мы предлагаем следующую схему. Какие критерии? Ну, прежде всего, уникальные какие-то качества продукции, потом стоимость владения, то есть мы можем купить продукт дороже, но он будет дольше служить без, условно, серьезных трат на эксплуатацию. И, соответственно, минимальная цена. Вот как-то 3. Здесь показано, как это все мы предполагаем и предлагаем правительству Москвы вот вместе с нами разработать вот эту систему, которая была бы полезна не только для Москвы, но и для других регионов и для других корпораций. Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kishin. I think I'd like to strengthen a few points here that were made. As you understand, Russian Technologies is a corporation that accumulates a number of enterprises in Russia. 70% of them have said 60% from the military industry. And as you know, for example, a lot of innovations in the United States, they come from military and aerospace, for example, and other these types of government-controlled industries. And the role that Technology is now working on is to actually make the civilian use of a number of technologies that we have. That's one thing. And the other important point that's been made is that Technology has now a very important task, and I believe it's a critical task for Russia to become a world innovative player, to become prominent in the world. Not only innovative, but a general player on the international markets. We have to create strong brands and strong companies in different sectors, high-tech sectors of economy, and we have to grow our success stories. You know, in the United States, the numbers are in hundreds and thousands of these corporations. In Europe, they are also numerous, but we all know the concerns such as Siemens, Fujitsu Siemens from Europe, a number of them, Alcatel, Sanofi, Novartis, etc. from the European Union. In Japan, there are stories such as everybody knows Mitsubishi, Sony, Panasonic, Komatsu. The brands they bring to market the new products, new technologies, and they have strong market base internationally. In Korea, the success story was brought up by Samsung LG, by Hyundai, and a number of other companies. And we need this type of brands as well, and this is the task that this state corporation has before them. Because we can grow innovations, we have to attract international investment. But as Mr. Safar has also mentioned in his presentation, they've attracted not only Infineon and other brands that are well known throughout the world, but also trying to grow their small businesses, medium businesses, but also try to use to the best effect their large companies and to create links between international and local businesses and to make the international success story. So thank you very much for your presentation. We quite expect the cooperation with Russian technologies in Moscow. There are, I think, over 150 entities just in Moscow, that locate just in Moscow. 100? 110? Okay, 110 to be more clear. And for 500 hectares, I believe, of land. So thank you. And yes, we do have this initial test requirement of 5% of innovative products, and let's work together with you and with Roснано and another number of other stakeholders in trying to develop these requirements. We have a $20 billion annual procurement just for the city, not counting the purchasing power of all private businesses and the 12 million city population, but also about 20 to 30 and more million, depending on how you count the surrounding population of the surrounding regions, plus the population traffic that comes internationally and from other regions to Moscow. So it's a large market base that we have to use to stimulate innovations. And since we are running out of time, if you can please now, all the other speakers, I'll be giving the word to you, and maybe in a few minutes, just point out what do you think the success story from your perspective and experience can be. What advice can you give to Moscow and to Russia? What do you think we're doing in the right direction? What do you think we're doing in the wrong direction? Or if you don't have enough experience with working with Russia, then from your perspective, from your experience, what do you think, what type of networking, cooperation, investments would you like to build? Or if you don't have specific plans for Russia, then how do you do it with other countries? Mr. Zelle, if I can give the word to you now.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. An, for giving the chance to comment on the topic we are discussing today on the round table. Well, I was going to tell you the story of Hannover Messe, the regional economic development company here for the region of Hanover, but since we're running out of time, I'm cutting the story short. I'm just telling you about the key factors, or what we think are the key factors for a successful economic development support of companies. So we are in the lucky position that we have already structures here. We have infrastructure historically grown, but that doesn't mean that it's enough. We have to develop the clusters we have here. We have specific technological clusters here in Hanover, like production technology, automotive, optical technology, and 3 examples, which exhibit here at this nice fairground during the week. These structures have to be developed. We work here as a networker. We connect the companies the academic institutions, the R&D institutions here in the region, in order to spark, to initiate joint projects here in the region, and to support innovation, development innovation, which is one of the drivers of growth for the companies here. But a cluster never is complete, so we're looking for new partners to complete these clusters. And well, the second factor of growth, the second driver is the expansion of our companies here to go abroad. We support these with different types of measures. I'm not commenting on these. The other thing we are doing here in Hannover is we're looking abroad actively for companies which fit into our clusters. So we define our clusters, we show our partners abroad what these clusters are, and what companies to join in to complete these clusters, to develop into these clusters. So we have a clear perspective for the companies to come to Hannover, to be involved in the networks, administrative networks, technology networks, and then to develop their business here. We have different programs to do this, to acquire the companies, to accompany the companies, for example, from Russia all the way to Hannover. We support them already in their home country, in Moscow. We support them hoping that they will come to Hannover, but we do not expect. We know there's risks. We take this risk, but we talk to the companies, we support them, we can financially support them already in their home country. And as I said, we accompany them the whole way, bring them to Hannover. And here in Hannover, the support does not end, but it starts, it goes on here. We have programs to support companies setting up, to start up their business here. We have programs for funding and companies from abroad who start up here and set up a business here have access to the same funding opportunities as our companies here in Hannover. So they're included in the network, they're full members of the network. We give counseling to them, we have techno parks here where they can set up their business. And to sum it up, the key factor is to give the companies full support in any area they have. It's not only bits and pieces here and there to give them money. No, we help them to spend the money in a proper way, in a sensible way. And last point, in finding these companies and acting with these companies, we can meet partners, we cannot do it alone. We don't have the cultural knowledge about the Russian business culture at all. So we have partners like the German-Russian Center for Technology, which is headed here, represented by Mr. Metzler, who speaks the language. So my Russian is less than basic, but we have a partner who can communicate. Communication is basic of making business. Then we have partners in Russia. I'm happy that Mr. Popov is here, a member of the International Union of Engineers of Information and Telecommunication Technologies. And he is, well, our partner, our mirror, we have his mirror on the other end. So we have now a bridge here between Hannover and Moscow. We invite any company to go across the bridge to get the support in Moscow and in Hannover to set up international activities. And then we have structures here, we have structures there, and these user structures we always try to do this. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zelle. You've touched a very important point. Is the key to success is not only infrastructure, it's not only the conditions, but the key is networks and communication between projects, between people, between companies, between associations. And I'd like to ask Mr. Metzler and Mr. Popov to also, since you mentioned them already, to share the experience of what is successful, what's working, what's not working, what you might want the city government or the federal government or the other partners to help you with. And just to point, you can we are now launching the new project, the new development enterprise, the Center for Innovations, and its goal would be to actually foster these soft networks to create communications between all parties, and hopefully we'll be able to bring up all these companies and firms and people who work on innovations, who work around innovations, who build these bridges in Russia, in Moscow, between regions in Russia, within and internationally as well. So hopefully this will be a useful instrument for all of you as well. If you can please, whoever wants to start.
Okay. Thank you very much for an opportunity to speak here. So I'm Gennady Popov, the Vice President of International Union of Instrument and ICT Engineers. This is a public organization located in Moscow, which unites a lot of companies and scientific institutions working in the field of information and telecommunications, the field of instrument engineering, radio engineering, and connected fields. So one of the main activities of the union is finding, supporting, and promoting Russian advanced technologies on the foreign markets. Since 1994, so more than 19 years, we have been organizing Russian national expositions at the most important international technical fairs, such as CEBIT, Hannover Messe, and a lot of other exhibitions in different countries in Europe, in China, Latin America. Also have organized a lot of events in the field of ICT, but our aim is, so all the events are very short. So exhibition is just a week of activity, but our aim is to continue the work after finishing the fair. And in 2006 we initiated the creation of a series of joint international centers for technology transfer. And this initiative was supported in Russia by the Ministry for Education and Science of Russia, and in Hannover it was supported by the Hannover city government, and together with the Hannover Impulse, the Agency for Economic Development of Hannover, we established the German-Russian Technology Transfer Center here in Hannover, and Russian-German Technology Transfer Center in Moscow on the basis of our union. So during 6 years, so this 6 years of activity, so the center became very popular also with Russian companies. It's really helped dozens of Russian companies to find appropriate partners here in Germany and to create new businesses in Hannover. We have a lot of successful examples. Some companies, some very famous companies in Russia, great daughter companies in Hannover, like, for example, Tech Platforms, one of the leaders in the field of supercomputing. So, well, maybe a year ago, it creates a subsidiary. And I hope that all of you will become our partners, the partners of our center, and it will help you to establish your business in Hannover and the European countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Popov. And if I can add from the perspective of actually running such an enterprise and actually, what are the success stories and the consequences? The success stories are of the, I believe, 6 years of experience between the German and Russian Center for Technology.
Я прошу прощения у наших нерусскоговорящих коллег, я буду выступать по-русски, так как наша аудитория это все-таки русские компании. Я представляю, как уже сказали мои коллеги, Германо-Российский центр трансфера технологий. И в первую очередь хотел бы поблагодарить организаторов за предоставленное нам время и возможность выступить здесь на площадке стенда правительства Москвы. Как уже рассказали мои коллеги, мы как Центр трансфера технологий занимаемся в основном поддержкой российских компаний при выходе на немецкий рынок. Это наша основная цель. И вторая цель – это инициирование совместных проектов с российскими организациями, а также организациями региона Ганновера, который представляет господин Зелле. И я не буду долго рассказывать, у нас уже нет времени. Мы сегодня проводим в новой ратуше города Ганновер мероприятие. Многие из вас уже приглашены на него. И добро пожаловать, там мы будем рассказывать более подробно о наших программах. Спасибо большое.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Metzler. And Mr. Weissman, if you can please tell us, we know we have a number of years of cooperation between Russia and Germany in the satellite projects. Can you share, what do you think from your perspective, what were the drivers of your success of the project, what problems you think to face in proceeding with the R&D phase and development phase, and what would be the requirements for you to actually go into the production phase and into launching your products to the market?
Thank you, Mr. An, for the possibility to speak here. Grüß Gott, that's the Bavarian word for hello. My name is Gerd Weizmann. I'm a German engineer and also entrepreneur. I started up to 4 companies up to now. And my actual project is on the area of satellite navigation and communication. We got in contact with Russian partners about 4 years ago during the Bavarian Moscow Days of Economy. I visited the Moscow city and the city government, and since that time we got several visits where we, Bavarian partners, came to Moscow and also the Moscow partners came to Munich, and to come in touch, to come in discussions and to begin discussing ideas. And we have heard a lot of words on bricks and infrastructures right now, and you first mentioned a second part, and that's the main thing I want to focus on. Bricks and infrastructure is a very basic thing. There have to be a hall or something like that. But it's much more interesting, and the main thing is invest in ideas and in peoples, bringing the peoples together, joining ideas, and give them the support to realize their ideas. That's, for my opinion, the main advice or the main answer to your question. Invest in ideas, in people, bring them together, have them to join their possibilities and start up creating joint projects. And to give you an example of such a joint project that came directly up of these talks, we had been last weeks together with 7 German partners at the Navitech Expo in Moscow, where we had an own booth and presented joint ideas and joint projects. And we also signed an agreement with the Russian space system, a very major player in Moscow in the area of the aerospace, together with our German partners from the Fraunhofer Institute, that's the major German research institutes. My small company, I'm an entrepreneur, and also a network called Satellite Navigation in Bavaria. That's some type of cluster of Bavarian and also Austrian companies and institutes that are focused on the area of applications of satellite navigation. And I'm also a speaker of this network. And we came with the network to Moscow. The first visit 4 years ago, I had been only one for myself. Now we had been 8 persons joining the presentation and also having a booth there and start up the project, which is called Matryoshka. And because of the layers, the project has 3 layers. Its topic is environmental monitoring, and the very inner layer, the basic layer, is from the Moscow part. That's a nanotechnic. So the guy from Roснано is already gone, but we use nanotechnology from Moscow for the sensoring of dangerous gases. That's the Moscow part. That's the inner part of the Matryoshka project. The second one, of mobile system using GPS, using GLONASS, and also using Galileo satellite navigation, mobile communication. That's the part of my company. That's a mobile system using the nanotechnology sensor. And this is also a joint German and Moscow part. We do the electronics and we use the GLONASS 3 receiver. That's the first silicon receiver from GPS and GLONASS, and it's at the same size than the American GPS sensors. we brought this into our systems, and so also this level is a joint level of Moscow technology and Bavarian technology. The third level of the Matryoshka project is a web-based service where we have also satellite communication from the Moscow partners, combining with the web-based services from our company. One word on the investment part of this project. The Bavarian partners have decided to invest 1.4 million euros into this project, and we got the support of 0.9 million euros from the Bavarian government to bring the people together to share the ideas and to realize these ideas. And that is the last statement on this. Not only bricks and infrastructure, the second thing is ideas, joining ideas, bring people together, join the ideas, and then there is also some sort of investment support, financial support needed as an entrepreneur to realize these things. And on the last stage, there can be a new business for production, the products coming out of this project. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Спасибо.
Mr. Weissman, and I can now give the word to Mr. Verma, the General Manager of YIT Elmek. I know that you wanted to make a presentation about your company. If you want, maybe 2 slides, but what I would still ask you is not to concentrate on your technology per se. It's important, it's a good venue to promote, but to actually stick to the subject of the discussion and see what's working, what's not working, what support do you need, what suggestions can you give the subject. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Victor Verma. I represent YIT Group, a Finnish-based company. We are a public company operating in 14 European countries, and our shares are listed in Nasdaq Helsinki, and with a long history of 100 years. Out of 100 years, I can say that we have 50 years of successful story of operations in Russia. And that's probably one of the reasons where I can share some of our success operations in Russia. We are leaders in engineering and construction. And I'll slightly... So we are present in in most of the key towns in Russia, in Moscow, St. Pete, Kazan, and Rostov-on-Don. And in terms of industrial park development, we are quite successful in St. Pete. We are developing industrial park Gorelo near Pulkovo. It's a 95-hectare plot, out of which about 50 hectares are successfully developed. And talking about bringing business into Russia, I can say that YIT has a very strong platform which allows Scandinavian business and European business to land in Russia and be quite sure on the delivery of the right product in the market. In terms of technologies, etc., of course, being leaders in engineering services, we could be a very strong player in the development of technoparks in Moscow. From the point of view of engineering services, technical maintenance, facility management, we have strong presence in Germany as well. We have research center, research and development center in Aachen, near Düsseldorf. And we have very great solutions in ventilation, air conditioning systems, tailor-made solutions for large-scale projects. In terms of infrastructural projects and transfer of technology into the Russian market, I would be very happy to introduce our partners, Anwar from Sweden, who have a great success story all over the world, building vacuum-based handling system. And basically, just to tell you that any city faces various challenges, like municipal towns due to increase of waste every year traffic emission of CO2, noise, etc. So this system allows to bring great solutions. We'll be very happy to continue our cooperation in Russia with the federal government and Moscow government. As it was mentioned before, we are actively working on Skolkovo project, and our vacuum waste system for waste handling is already introduced into the project, and I look forward to continue cooperation in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Verma. I'd like to point the importance of what Mr. Verma is saying. We are now actively, as I've told, we are launching a number of projects in developing the industrial territories into technoparks. And Tir Moskvich is presented on the maquette nearby here. It's the first project of the car making factory turned innovative park. The Zil territory, 100 hectares, is another automaker that is being redeveloped into a mixed-use territory focusing on innovations. And the answer to where did we build Buranj, it's Tushina plant to the northwest of the screen and northwest of on the actual geography. So these are the locations which we are trying to redevelop. And what is one of the key issues and challenges we are facing now is bringing in the right expertise, international expertise included, into industrial design, industrial development, into creating the right engineering systems, into creating the territories according to the best world practices, into designing the space, the location, and the proportions of different stakeholders on these zones. So your experience and the experience of companies is yours. We are talking now to a number of firms that would be able to assist us and participate, play in the market, make money, but also bring value to the market. So your role is essentially important. And adding to the physical infrastructure, to the building networks of communications, it's also, we believe it's the key importance is into doing it the right way, into doing it to the world best, according to the best world standards, so that the projects are really successful and so they can meet the needs of international players, of international firms. So thank you very much for your experience. We'll definitely continue talks. And finalizing our discussion, I'd like to give the word to Mr. Gorelkin, Dr. Gorelkin, who is deputy head for the HTC Advanced Technology Center and the GM for medical nanotechnologies with the success that he's having in Skolkovo. Can you please tell us what Skolkovo is to you, and do you believe in this project, or if yes, then why? If not to the fullest extent, then what problems do you think this project has?
So thank you for the invitation to speak here. So to answer your question of Mihail An, Skolkovo, yes, it's very good project, but now it's only just we just start to work with Skolkovo, and we have created a new company which was mentioned, medical nanotechnologies is a resident of Skolkovo. One of the reasons is that we want to have index advantages, and another is that we would like to have easier duty, because duty is a real problem in Russian.
Talking about taxes, taxation?
I mean custom.
Oh, custom,
yes, yes. So,
but Skolkovo will have zero taxes, custom duties on
they have custom duties, but the one thing that is not so good in Skolkovo, that the resident of Skolkovo can make like big scale production. It's possible on the like small scales or something like that. So and also
yeah, so it's pretty much for technology for the smaller, the starting phase. Because if you talk about industrial production, then we have the special economic zones which have a certain level of support system.
Okay, so and also in my speech I would like to tell about a little bit about the cooperation with Moscow government. It was quite successful cooperation. First of all, in 2008 we have received the subsidy, and we have started our own small engineering center. We have bought only 1 milling machine and start to produce our production is scanning chrome microscope. So, and in the end of 2012, we have received the second subsidy, and we have start to spread our engineering facilities. And when we have started it, we are considered several places where we started, and one of them was the territory of development Moskvich. One advice to Moscow government is to raise such territories not a little bit closer to basic universities, because if you want to attract the innovation enterprises or with the quality stuff, it's better to launch it near the university, for example, Moscow State University or Leningrad or something like that.
Well, maybe it's a good point you mentioned. I can maybe answer. We are thinking about this as well, and we know that in a number of cases, and I've heard these stories today as well, it's important to put together the university, the research and science enterprises together with actual business. And actually the team from Moscow is going to visit others in Berlin this Friday to learn this experience. But and this is definitely a success solution to a number of parks of this nature. But in Moscow, you have to understand that if you go down the subway, it takes you 20 to 30 minutes to get to whatever university you need. And there are over 800 major universities and science centers in Moscow alone. So while we understand that it's important in certain cases to build these technoparks around or together with universities, we are now discussing that it's not only the only solution for all stories. For example, in Moskvich, we are discussing building networks and connections with a number of prominent institutes in Moscow, in Russia, and not only. But for example, for the ZIL territory, 300 hectares of land, we are now discussing actually moving at least one of the university campuses over there. We are talking to the Mrs. Bauman, MFT, MIFI, the prominent technical universities. We know that actually the High School of Economics want to come there, and this is the dilemma, because how we should be developed ZIL. There is now international competition going in between different architects and industrial developers on the concept of development, the best concept to develop the ZIL territory. It's 5 kilometers from Kremlin, from the heart of Russia, of Moscow. It's surrounded on the three sides by river, and it has quite interesting potential, but some of the area is polluted. There are 6,000 people still working there in the automotive industry. So what's happening now, there is an agreement for 100 million euro to build a plant for the assembly of cars and trucks, because we've calculated about 70% of the market for this type of cars in Moscow and Moscow region. So it kind of makes sense. For us, it's not the importance of actually putting the production in Moscow, because there are also cases against it by putting all this heavy load of traffic in the close to the center of the city. But anyway, these cars are coming and they're being delivered here, and the infrastructure is present. There is strong railroad infrastructure, road networks, and other type of logistics available, so it's possible. And there is another project, a joint venture between the government of Moscow and Renault, which is successfully running on near Moskvich, next to the Moskvich site, on 27 hectares of land. They've last year they've increased capacity from 75,000 cars to 160,000 cars, and they haven't put any burden on the infrastructure, so it works sometimes. What's important for us is to create this assembly so that it helps foster medium to small size businesses around it, in the service industry, in the intellectual car parts, in microelectronics, in engineering, in design, etc. And the question is now, for example, the high school of economics is lobbying to come to that place. The question to us, why do you need this? Okay, it's a nice location, but for us it's probably more feasible to bring an international technology university or one of the prominent Russian universities to actually be there if necessary. But the question is, and it's still open question, do we need to put university on the location spot? Or for Moscow, is it enough to have a metro station, a good accessibility to all these major universities, and we don't need to concentrate on a specific university? The students still study there, the research is still being done, and today you don't need, or not always need physical presence to exchange ideas, to communicate. There is internet, there is, I don't know, we are putting Wi-Fi throughout the whole subway system of Moscow. It's expanding. So this is the dilemma. Do you really need to have university or not?
So, and another also kind of advice and something like that, sometimes it's better not to reconstruct the old building, and sometimes it's better to create a new building, and sometimes it's cheaper. So, for example, for our business and for our production, we produce the analytical system, where it represents analytical systems, and noises is quite quite value noises, and it's also very important to mention that when we try to build a new building, for example, in the territory, we have a lot of problems to do it, because we should create a project to have a lot of documentation, and for this reason we choose to use the old buildings and to reconstruct the old buildings. But for me, I think that sometimes it's necessary to solve the problem of building new buildings.
Okay, thank you, Peter. I think the message is well received. It's actually true that sometimes it's a difficult task whether you choose the brownfield or the greenfield. There are benefits and pluses and minuses to each case, and that's why we are thinking about creating different types of stories in Moscow. In Moskvich, for example, there will be reconstruction of the present infrastructure, and that would help, and already helps the companies to enter faster the market. There are companies who are now being located at Moskvich. They just need to bring in the equipment, put the infrastructure that they specifically require, the engineering, communications infrastructure, and start working. So this project can be launched within 6 to 12 months. When the greenfield is under discussion, then we have to reconstruct, and it will take at least 2 to 3 years to build. So the different types of project, different sizes of project, different types of investments that require different types of infrastructure. Thanks for the feedback. That's definitely something we are also discussing, and that's why we need the international experience and the international expertise. And this is actually the subject of the discussion that we have now. If I may now summarize, because we are 20 minutes past the deadline, there were a number of interesting speakers, and it's been quite a difficult task for me to be able to give a word to everyone, but I also stick to the time. Hopefully you'll apologize for this a bit of failure of mine, but to finalize, if maybe each of the key speakers can bring one advice to Moscow of what is your one criteria of success, and also give a feedback if you would actually are willing or not to discuss further the cooperation on the projects, and if yes, what would be. So Mr. Al Matrushi, please.
We heard very interesting actually topics and stories, some from individuals, some from corporation, which is really, I think, really there is a story of success, and I think even if there is a failure, we should not call it a failure. It's an experience which we have to learn from it. This is one of the things. But I think number one issue, the FDI or the foreign company or even your own company, what they need is the support. The support from all the private sector and the government sector and the financial institutions. The support is very important. What I insist on is the support.
Hello. Okay, my advice to the Moscow city is probably 3-4 different phrases. One is be clear about your development concept. What is the development all about? What is the conceptual in the beginning? Second, build first, promote next. Third, be very focused with what technology you want to do. And probably the final one I say is please maintain your discipline, because you'll get too many seduction or be seduced by several opportunities. But the discipline must remain. What you want to do for the
I can feel what you say. That's definitely excellent advice. Because we have the struggle of going in different directions, and this is the struggle and the challenge that we do face. Before I give the word to everybody else, I wanted to make sure that I invite everybody to the big event that will be held at the end of October, on the 31st of October through 3rd of November. There is a new event being launched together with Roснано and with a number of with other development institutions such as Kolkova, Bank, and a number of other players that will bring together all the innovation experts. It's the Forum Open Innovations. Everybody is invited. There will be further discussions into much more detail, and we'll have more opportunities to discuss the initiatives that have been taken in Russia on different levels. All of these institutions will be presenting their cases. There will be top-level discussions. There will be President of Russia present at this, and all the top government officials, all the key top managers of Russian corporations, of international firms present in Russia. And we are inviting a large participation from all interested stakeholders from around the world. There is a story in Russia, St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, that's being held in June. You're also invited there as well, because actually working back at the Ministry of Economic Development was part of launching this project as well. It's now a prominent forum event for people to meet, not only to discuss Russian issues, but to discuss, there are now, last year for example, that people came from Europe to discuss with their colleagues from Asia the projects that they have. But it's a good venue for them to come to also look into Russia, into what we discussed in Russia, but to also discuss the type of issues that are current. This is the similar story to what happens in Davos. People come at a place to meet and talk for a few days and discuss what's happening around. So this, our project for the 31st of October is to talk about innovations, to talk about new ideas, about the foresight for development of the world in different areas of ecology, energy, infrastructure, sustainable development, transport, whatever. So we like you to be there and to continue the discussions. Hopefully there we'll have more opportunities than here to present the projects that we are launching, and they hopefully will be in a more advanced stage by that time. Mr. Zelle, we'll ask for one final word, one final advice as a summary to this table.
Just do not rely on the structures you have, but offer the companies and investors as much money as possible. Ask them what they need. Don't offer something. Say, oh, we are a good city or a good park. We have so much to offer. Ask the companies what they need. Then try to find a solution to it and fit it to yourself. I think that's the best thing or the best recommendation we can give to all.
Thank you. If anybody else might want to add?
Just would like to say that we have strong experience in public-private partnerships in different parts of Europe, and we look forward to further enhance this experience in Russia and in Moscow. So in that regard, I would be very glad to see some real action from Moscow government side, how it could work, what are the criteria, what are the guarantees Moscow government will provide, because we'll be very happy to introduce our latest technologies into Russian market and transfer the best of the best into the market.
Thank you, Victor, and we'll definitely discuss with you, and I'll explain use my chance to explain in more detail what we are doing on the government side. But if you can please also talk to Konstantin Sednev, who is sitting out there. He's the deputy director of the Tir Moskvich plant. Konstantin, if you can just point out, actually, and the director is also coming tonight, Mr. Ishik. So you can also discuss the specific projects of yours, actually using your expertise in helping us with launching the territory for innovative development in Moskvich, for example.
Basic investment in bricks and infrastructure will give you the basic. Investment in ideas and persons and heads will give you the innovations that will lead to products that will fill in the infrastructure.
Thank you. We look forward to you maybe hopefully helping out building these cooperation networks in Germany, not only. So, thank you. Anybody else? Well, yes. Mr. Grudi, please, so efficient. See, this is the efficiency of Roснано. They've been able to start here the discussion, do the presentations, and come back.
Yes, I just want to add one small point we always mentioning to our participants and our partners. Gentlemen, the key issue is business. Whatever government does, even Russian government, very strong, very vertical integrated, it's just facilities, just conditions. Russia is still amazing business opportunity for those who are looking for the new markets, for those who are looking for experience and work power, natural sources, and etc., etc., etc. Think about it. And the Moscow and this connection is the simplest place to land in Russia. Think about it. I think the business should rule all over the trends. What government can provide, government can facilitate. So I think the facilities today Moscow government establishing in the city quite unique and quite useful. All your suggestions will be welcomed, will be discussed, and will be implemented whenever possible and as soon as possible. So think about business opportunities. It could be the point number one in the agenda.
Thank you very much. I would join to what Vasily said, and actually this reminds me of the advice that Mr. Zelle gave on actually listening what business wants. And Nicholas here as well mentioned in their presentations. This is what we try to do. The measures that we are launching now, they're just the beginning, and we'll be looking further of what we can do to help facilitate the business and to help create the right environment. So this is an open process. We'll be going year to year and developing from the government side the services, building the services, but we also welcome, but we do welcome all of your ideas in the process. If now I may finish, thank you very much for your patience and for my a bit unsuccessful failure to 30 minutes down the line, but I hope it was useful and interesting to all of you, and hopefully use this time well and learn something here. We definitely did learn a lot, and we will use the results of this table in our decisions that we make at the governmental level in Moscow, and integrating this system of support and building international ties. And I look very much forward to cooperation with all our international guests and participants, and further discussing with them how we can both benefit in cooperation between our projects. Thank you very much, and have a fruitful Hannover Messe event. Thank you.
Very successful.